And we are supposedly live.
That's what they always say.
That's what they always say. So for y'all out there, already in drinking game, well, feast your eyes on what's sitting on the screen. I think you're gonna have to take double drinks because this is a new arrival, and I think the putty deserves that.
This is Leo. Leo loves me.
Yeah, Leo will learn better. That hasn't known you very long, so I'm sure Leo will overcome that soon. That's what I'm thinking, anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Well, hello, folks out there. We're back. Well, we haven't done one of these for the patrons in a month, right?
It's once been a month.
So y'all have us all to yourselves today.
That's right. Not going to be very many people.
Probably.
I am officially going to go downstairs in just a moment and bring up the other three one at a time because I know Veronica hasn't had a chance to see them. So this is all for Veronica since she's here. Gonna reward her with cats.
Yeah, I see how it is.
Mr. Leo, he's adjusting well. He stopped being so chewy, so bitey, but he's still very enthusiastic.
I don't believe any of it.
Oh, just look how cute he is, though.
He's not cute. Don't call him cute.
Him's cute.
Him's not cute. Him's cat. Him's kitten.
He's almost 5 months old. And he's Leo, Sue.
That is one happy putty.
He's the oldest of the 4 rescue kittens that we've brought in. So let me put him down here and go get Miss Cleo or Cleopatra.
Cleo.
There we go.
Okay. I might be doing that a lot this episode, so yeah, just get used to it. If I mute myself and cough off camera or whatever. Well, how are y'all doing? Since Terry's not here, I got to try and at least, keep there from being dead air, especially so when we turn this into a podcast, there's not like huge gaps of silence that I have to constantly edit out because, that's my job, supposedly. I want to know which cat typed that. Hello, Rick. Hello, Sue. Hello, V. Yeah, a long time no shit. It's definitely been a while since we've seen a lot of people on here. Okay. All right. It was Leo that was typing on the keyboard. Slept until almost noon. Holy shit. Wish that was me. Finally able to take a break from recording. Yeah, I imagine that's probably a good thing. Yeah, life intrudes. Boy, don't I know it. Don't I know it. And here's Cleopatra.
This is little Cleopatra. She's 10 weeks old. Uh-oh, her brother knows her?
Her brother's already been typing on the keyboard.
What did him say? Did him say something good?
Him said apostrophe bracket. Apostrophe close bracket.
He sees her. And this is what happens every single time they come into contact with one another. And this is why they're not allowed to stay in the room alone with one another.
Is there kind of like some kind of cannibal thing going on here?
It's like, we've got to attack each other. This is what we does.
Whoop, oh, my God.
Where are you going? Boop, boop.
Oh, congrats, Rick. Rick sold his 3rd short story last month. Awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Okay, let me go get the other 2.
Oh, God. Oh, this is not going to be good. This is going to be nothing but Terry's kittens rampaging and destroying everything. Him as a brat. Aren't males pretty much that way? Aren't they always brats? Hey, Matt. Oh, nice. Kittapalooza. Wow, listen to those lungs on that. Wow. I need to see what I can sample from this for sound effects. Holy crap. Unlucky fried kitten jokes again. Oh, that's bad. The lost fedora. Nice. For a minute there, without my glasses, I thought it said the last fedora. So I was like, huh? Yeah, I think the kitten wants its daddy and its sister. That's what I think is going on. Me personally, that's what I think is going on.
It wants its sister. That's what it wants.
Yeah, that. And then there's another one.
No.
Which one is this?
This is K3 because there's no name yet.
Is it just me or does it look like a miniature teddy bear? Oh,
Eats a little gray.
Oh, very Mew Mew.
He's only 6 weeks old. Uh-oh. Nope.
Shadow's hiding. He's not coming out. He's asleep on top of the Mac Mini. Totally crashed. Oh, no. You know, I think kittens, if you name them before you know their personality, they take on the name of whatever personality you gave them. Or take the personality of whatever name you gave them. Shadow had his name after 3 days because he followed me around everywhere. I can see a kitten stalking horses. Kittens stalk everything. Pretty much stalk everything. Did y'all bring topics for us to talk about today? Or are we just completely winging everything? Since this is Patreon Day, it's your day. Although I do have a couple of rants, at least one rant, because we know there's a fuck Amazon rant coming. Those of you who run Discords know there's a fuck Amazon rant coming. Why, yes, it is Corpse Coffee I'm sampling. What else would it be? Oh, God. This is K4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so cute. That's why it's still alive.
Oh, no. Here it comes again. No.
Oh. I have to learn to stop clearing my throat. I got yelled at about that on Thursday. Yeah, the floof. Those are very young putties. Oh, they're cute. Rick. Rick, what did you say? They changed the... Oh, it started out as that title. Okay, then the editor... okay, I gotcha. K3 and K4 meet M2. There are some interesting things I have to figure out. Well, not interesting things. There are some potentially controversial things I could do in Extinction, and they would make logical sense. I just don't know how much trouble I'll get into for them. We'll see. That sounds like a good topic, V. I know that feeling. All right, he's back finally.
And I've evicted Leo into the other room.
Fucking minutes of you assing around with cats.
This is the 10 best minutes of this show.
This is not the Pussy Cast. That's next week. K4 is chicken and K3 is waffles.
K4 is a girl, whereas the gray is a boy. So there you go. Now everybody in the Patreon knows the new Pounce members.
Now everybody who's watching YouTube knows the Pounce members. No, Terry and the Pussycats. That is not going to be a thing. That is not going to be a thing. Someone alert. David
Terry
Wood.
Sounds much better than Josie anyway.
Actually, yeah, sort of. Well, no, because Josie, because you could, for the song, it would sound stupid if it's Terry and the Pussycats. It's Josie and the Pussycats. I think that one works better.
I've never actually heard any of them sing. I just remember the cartoon.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm just remembering I just remember the soundtrack or the song, the Pussycat Bots.
Is that like the fembots from Austin Powers?
Or what were they called in the $6 Million Man? Weren't they called fembots?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen $6
Million
it was, Man.
I think it was the Bionic Woman. I think that's what had it. I can't remember. I can't believe we went off on that. Well, give us an update besides all the pussy in your house. What else is going on?
Well, I'm still not done with this damn novel.
Oh my God. Because you became a house of ill repute. I mean, further ill repute.
That's probably true. But I'm still on schedule to wrap it up this month and be done with it. It'll probably be a week beyond the deadline of what I was supposed to turn it in, but it'll be close.
Shit happens.
It's been a hard month. Losing 3 cats over a 2-month period of time really messed me up. And my wife told me that over the last 2 years, 2 years and a little bit, that we've lost 7 or 8. So it has been very draining on me.
But now you've reloaded.
Donna would never tell you this, but getting Cleopatra right after Q-Tip, her girl, passed, helped her a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Gave her something else to focus on.
Yeah. In bonding with a new member.
There was a ton of grief that was semi-short-circuited there.
I sometimes think I prevaricate about getting a new animal after having lost one. Time. It seems like it can go either way, but if you're used to having a lot of them around, yeah, that could be really hard. I'm just glad y'all, I've seen a smile on Terry's face for the first time in what seems like a while. So that makes me happy, and seeing him laugh when I'm not telling a bad joke, because he never laughs at my jokes anyway, as we'll soon discover.
Oh, I do laugh at your jokes.
No, you just laugh at me.
I'm not laughing with them. That's the problem.
Oh, what an asshole. Anyway,
we need to have a little button where you can hit it and it play that Dennis Leary song. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just glad to see my friend happy again, and look forward to the shenanigans. We will never get a show recorded again, ever. Well, not for 6 months anyway, because he'll be jacking around with kittens the entire time.
No, now that having gone through starting the process of weaning these latest 2 off, they should have been started a couple of weeks ago. They're eating solid food, so my sleepless night last night of making sure that they actually got enough food once they got here is probably going to be fine. Now I'm going to be it's a matter of juggling it so that Leo and Cleo are in separate rooms and the 2 new ones aren't in the same with them. So none of those 3 groups are allowed to mingle because of chewing factors.
We have 3 grades of chewing in this house.
Yeah, the new ones, they don't know about chewing yet. They haven't figured that out.
Oh, the two newest ones? No, I would not think that
They have not figured
have a
that
clue
out yet.
yet.
But as you saw from Leo and Cleo together, they understand chewing. And that's why they're not allowed to be in the same room together.
But they're
because
just
the moment you do, it's like, bonk. It's like, there's no play. There is assault. That is what happens.
Jesus. Oh, man.
And it's every single time. It's just like that. The moment he sees her, the moment she sees him, the embrace begins and the chewing is on. There is not a moment that they have seen one another that has not happened.
Aren't those the two that were found together?
They were, and they love each other, but they want to play rough, and she's still too small compared to his size for that. I'm a protective daddy, and I am not going to let that happen. Once she gains a little bit more weight, they'll be allowed to romp and to do that. Just not yet.
Oh, that cracks me up.
He got his name of Leo because he was her protector when she was abandoned. He shepherded her underneath the area where he was staying and protected her from things like owls and whatnot that might have come after her. So he's the protector, even though he chews her a lot.
So if you wanted your story prompt, there you go. If that's what you wanted. Overlap carnage. Oh, Rick. Cleo likes it rough. Isn't that what Mark Anthony said? Mark Anthony? Yeah. Yes, kind of, sort of in the Shakespeare play. Yeah, I kind of did. Yeah.
Was it Mark Anthony or Mark Antony?
Anthony.
I was going to say, I was pretty sure there wasn't an H in there.
There's not. It's Anthony.
Little Anthony. That. We'll go back in time and call him Little Anthony.
No. So before we get started with the patrons and their topics, I have to have my moment of rage. You ready for this, patrons? As you might know, especially if you've seen my dialogue tag at the down there and the bottom, whatever. The Black trade paperback and ebook are now up on Amazon, with the audiobook shortly to follow. Now, if I look exhausted and ready to pass out, we're going to tell you why this is. This process of re-releasing The Black, of getting rights back from the publisher, which Sever Press did a fantastic job on getting me everything I needed. Very much appreciated. They were wonderful. Got that done. Now, here's the problem. Books take time to come out of stores. Book takes time to get into stores. Some books take longer to get out of some stores. Like, for instance, if you tell Amazon, I need to stop all of this shit, they say, okay, 72 to 96 hours. Usually it's done in 24 to 48. If I go to Audible and say I need these books off the shelves, you know what they say? We'll get around to it. They wait for the fucking pay period to end. Because the day the pay period ended was when I got my rights back, strangely enough, or was the day that they took everything down, was the day after that. Same thing happened with the ebooks. It all is based on the pay period. So, thing for you to understand, when you do a re-release and you have to do these kinds of things, you might want to schedule things around the time when they say they cut up the reports off for that month. Because if the closer you do it to that, the more likely you are to get it done. Just my 2 cents. I have only anecdotal evidence, my own, to prove this, but I'm convinced it is correct. This also means with Audible, you need to leave at least 2 weeks. Seriously, 2 business weeks to get the books out of their system if you're exclusive. I don't know how it works with the other platforms. I'm sure it's similar, but if you're exclusive with Amazon, plan on that happening. It's going to take a while. Now, Here's the biggest problem with dealing with the Amazonosaurus. And to be honest, I have a feeling this is probably going to be the case with a lot of other platforms too. It'll be the same kind of thing. It's just hopefully, Drafted Digital or whomever you use has a better way to do it. But what you have to get from your publisher is you have to get a release that says everything is done, either, just the ebook or just a trade paperback. You have to prove that the publisher no longer has non-exclusive distribution rights. For that to happen, you have to have a letter composed stating that to the best of your ability, the best of your publisher's ability to write, which let's hope they know how to do this, and capture a signature and have that in the document. Now, this is very important. Very, very important. 3 things you have to know. The signature has to be legible, digitally legible. Number 2, the signature cannot be embedded as a photograph in a document. So for instance, if your publisher sends you a Word doc and you try and forward that on to Amazon in the interest of not fiddling with the document, Amazon will kick it back and say, no. Now, they won't say, I'm not accepting this because it's a fucking Word document, you moron. They're going to say, this does not conform to our standards, to give you one of 7 or 8 reasons why they wouldn't accept it. So, based on that, looking at it, I thought about sending back to Sever Press saying, let's try this again. What the fuck? But being as how it was early in the morning, I had had a lot of coffee already. I decided to do what I should not be allowed legally to do, which was to take the goddamn fucking Word doc and just convert it to PDF and send it. No, I didn't modify anything. I just converted the format from Word to PDF and sent it. And strangely enough, same document, same everything, same signature, different format. Amazon accepted it. So, something for you to know. Now, just because they've accepted the document that it matches the format, that's only part of the battle. The rest of the battle is 5 to 10 business days to get somebody in their fucking business offices or legal to look at it and decide that, though, yes, indeed, you do have the rights. And then after they do that, it will take 48 to 72 hours for you to actually get the book. And you can't, from what I understand or what I've seen, you can't really do this ahead of time. You have to put all your stuff in there for the book and then say publish. It goes into review. Their system catches that it is being published by somebody else, even though it's the same book. And the alarm bells go off. And then they send you you need to provide proof you have the rights to do this. Don't get me wrong. I like that process. I like that they're looking out for that and that is a good stop valve. This proves that their system works to me. Okay. I don't know about anybody else's, but this is a good thing.
I'd rather it be hard to do that than easy.
Exactly. My problem is that it's not spelled out in a lot of ways until you get there. There's no real prep way. So I'm here as the
guinea pig.
The guinea pig. So basically, if you're planning on doing a re-release and you have to get your rights back from Amazon or the publisher to prove to Amazon or whomever, you need to count on at least leaving yourself a month to get all this sorted out. The problem is the longer the process takes, the longer your books are out of print.
You think you've got it hard. Let me tell you what's going to be hard. I've got all of those short stories that I wrote for Chris Kennedy. I have, the contract allows me to go ahead and print them on my own once the exclusivity period ends, with certain conditions, like I have to say what anthology they were originally published in and give the credits for that.
Yeah.
I have 10 short stories that I've written for 10 different anthologies. So I could have 5 anthology sets that I put out there of these short stories, and it would have to go through whatever it is for each of those anthologies. Can you imagine how much chaos that would be?
Well, I think that's I had never thought about this before, so that's why I couldn't ask anybody, how is this done? Nobody I knew has had this done. They've either transferred or whatever. It's been a different animal. So I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to turn into a goat rodeo. I just had no idea what kind of goat it would be in this rodeo. It turns out it was Amazon was the goat. Everybody else, no problem. Him, or Amazon rather, yeah, that's a problem. So basically, if you have to go through this, or somebody asks you, say a month is optimistic. I would say you need to count on your books being out of print and be able to survive it for like a month and a half if you want to be truly careful about it. But here's the trick. Have everything ready to go so that the moment that those things come through, it just happens. Within 24 to 48 hours after it gets approved, suddenly your books start showing up. So count on that month and a half, but be prepared to get everything.
I tell you, man, as a moment of rage, this is pretty lackluster.
Well, I can't go completely bonkers because I'm afraid of tearing my throat up more than.
Oh, well, there is that,
So
I mean, even the amount you're tearing Amazon up is, that's pretty mild.
Here's the part that I'm really fucking annoyed out. This is the part.
Let's get to the meat of this.
This is where the rage comes in. Okay, this is where the rage comes in. I'm glad you reminded me of this. I got the trade paperback approved. Let me say that again. I got the trade paperback approved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that one more time. I got the trade paperback approved.
Let's clarify that a little bit. Was it only the trade paperback that was approved?
Yes.
Okay.
They're the same fucking book. The same goddamn ISBN. The 10 anyway, not the 13. Got the same.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. All right, hush. They're under the same thing in Amazon's little deal. They're covered under the same fucking book.
ASIN.
Doing one should flip both. It does not. These fuckers want a goddamn fucking review for each fucking format.
Sure.
Even if, and now here's the thing that pisses me off. The letter that I sent says everything. They have to click boxes to say, yes, this proves you have it. Why wouldn't they look at that and say, oh, well, that should cover these others too? Because that's what it does. Instead of that, you have to send out another fucking request for this other format, even if it's the same fucking contract, which means you have to wait another period of days for the assholes to click yes. So basically, you may have to go through this for every single fucking format your fucking book was published under another fucking publisher.
Hence the reason I have not published, my anthology stories.
Hence my fucking moment of rage. That's what really got me so ticked off. It was like being in a Kafka, like being in a Kafka universe, or suddenly I was transported in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It made no sense to me. And after everything had been going on, how sick I'd been and everything else, it was just the last kick in the balls. It was just.
I think this is the reason you lost your voice.
No, this just happened yesterday. That's what
I think this is you just screaming, elemental.
Oh my God. It was so bad. Okay. So yes, now everybody knows, leave yourself a month and a half and be prepared for shenanigans. You may have to send several requests in. And since I know this now, send them all at once. Because like I said, they will not give you a FAQ or a instruction manual on how to handle this. You have to go to their FAQ page and figure it out for what they say. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Amazon never says anything clearly. And I think that's by intent.
It is by intent.
They want to have maximum range to where they can interpret it whatever way they choose.
Well, they want it easy to get into it. They want it easy to get onto their platform. They want to make it very difficult for you to leave. And they do
that could have gone a totally different way. I'm glad you clarified.
Oh, Sue, this is not rage-worthy. It was rage-worthy. After the week it was rage-worthy.
I'm with Sue. This was not really rage. This is more like, this was a moment of grump. This was a moment of grump is all it really was.
Okay, fine. Shall I be rageful about something else?
Do you have anything else to be rageful about?
Oh, I have plenty.
Well, by all means, let's amp the aperture. Let's turn this thing to 11. Let's get some rage going here.
Well, this isn't rage. I want to just do this here real quick, since this will go out over the airwaves. I have deterioration in my vocal cords, so there are things I have to kind of do from the health side and et cetera to kind of keep my voice going. And there may be some other shoes to drop in a month or two, depending on how things progress and get better. I sound a lot better today. I've been hoarse for like a week and a half, so I sound much better today. But probably I'm going to be a lot more prone to losing my voice in the future. So I guess it was a good time for me to get out of the audiobook business, so to speak. So, and some of these episodes may need to be a little shorter than our usual 2 hours, but right now I'm feeling it. So I think we'll do it. So we'll just get that out of the way. If you want all the skinny and bullshit, you can just go to my site. I've got an update up there. So now that's out of the way.
Rest assured, I can talk as much as needed.
I know, and that's the only reason I can stay on the show, because I know you'll pick up any slack that I provide. You'll that's the way that'll work. Oh, you know what? I like that idea. Me as Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I like that idea a lot. Yes, Amazon are the same as the local gym. You sign up and they keep you there forever. You were never allowed to leave.
It's like the mob.
It's very much like the mob.
Well, now that you've talked about them, they may have to, put a cap in you and bury you in a 55-gallon drum under a bridge somewhere.
Anyway, I may have to write up an essay or whatever explaining my experience with this whole disaster area, so y'all can laugh, and if nothing else, it'll be a good cautionary tale for y'all if you're ever in this situation.
Well, here's a warning for you. If you get buried with Jimmy Hoffa, it doesn't do you any good because you can't tell anybody.
Well, this is true. But hey, your last thoughts could be cool. I'm going to merge with Jimmy Hoffa. He'd be so proud. Oh God. Yeah. Anybody can be a co-host in this show. All you got to do is show up and talk shit.
Matt's talking about honey. I agree. Honey's a great thing.
Yeah. Honey's in there. There's a lot of different stuff that I need to look into doing right now. I'm on steroids and all sorts of other good stuff that's making this possible. I like that. We're going to make sure you swim with the fishes next day. No shipping fees. Yeah, there you go. That's truth in advertising right there, honey. There you go. That's what.
And they'll even email you a picture of the wave that they tossed you into.
See, here's the nice little hole. See how it's covered in lime? We took care of everything. We were thinking of you. We had everything ready.
Oh, God. There's a story in here somewhere of an Amazon delivery driver that's not a serial killer, maybe a hitman working as an Amazon delivery driver.
What page do you go to sign up for that service? Is that part of your Prime membership?
Well, there's a little click button where you can make this a gift. There's, a little hidden click button that says you can also assassinate the person you're sending the gift to.
Wow.
But you only see it if you have, the special mob browser.
Okay. So we have Brave, and now we have Mob. So now there's a mob browser. Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me there's a mob
It's
browser.
Called Omerta.
Omerta.
Oh,
Omerta.
Omerta, then. That's what it's called.
Oh, boy. Wow. Wow. I so got nothing.
Are you satisfied with your eventual demise? Please rate your experience.
So it's like a little survey you take as you're dying. You have to take the survey. That sounds about right.
Now, before I pop a cap in you, could you go ahead and click this little button and give me 5 stars? Because, I really need those 5 stars. 4 stars just don't cut it in this Amazon environment.
My employer is going to want to know that you got the optimum experience that they paid for. The customer demanded that we do this. I want to make sure I didn't forget nothing.
Your assassin is 10 steps away.
Oh my God. Oh,
V
that's
is right
awesome.
on this. There's going to be a short story coming out of V about this. She's already right there.
It wouldn't surprise me. Bunch of sickos in this show.
Was your assassin courteous? It says driver, but we're on assassins now.
Did your assassin look shellared and well manicured? Were they dressed for the occasion?
We paid extra for that double tap.
In fact, we threw in a triple tap as a tip.
It's like a guaranteed delivery.
Oh my God. So bad. So bad. Yes, this was not much of a roid rage I had, but no, I'm thinking of it. Use a driver or a wood. Oh, that's bad. And Rick couldn't tell assassin.
He used a Jeremy Irons.
Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. The delivery, man.
Gosh, isn't he like 80 by now?
Who?
He's in Jason Statham. He's like Statham. 80, isn't he?
No. It's a lot younger than Sylvester fucking Stallone, who's still churning out movies.
Well, you know, he's in the Expendables with Stallone, so he's pretty much also a has-been, isn't it?
Well, so does Antonio Banderas.
If you're in the Expendables, you're already over the hill, right? That's how this works as an action guy.
Yeah, kind of. Those old people. So V had a topic for us.
Well, we can't jump to that topic just yet.
Oh, okay.
I've got one more thing.
Okay, well then continue.
I spent an outrageous sum of money buying a computer that Paul assures me I will never even see the horizon of the performance envelope with. So I got to tell you, spending that kind of money on a PC, that's a heart-stopping experience. But I can't envision me ever, 10 years from now, that PC will still be more than capable of doing anything that I look towards doing.
After you finish it, they should send you a survey, or before you buy it, rather. You should they have you do a survey that says what you're going to use the computer for. In your case, it had said you don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need that. You really don't. What the fuck is wrong with you? You absolutely do not need that. And Terry's like, So at the end of it, Terry, hang on. Hey, I'm not done yet. Terry adds to cart, clicks purchase, and the machine says, congratulations, you bought a $100,000 typewriter.
It's a selected typewriter. The stats on this thing are ludicrous, but mainly because my wife wants to have that machine for her own, and she'll buy it in a couple of months. She'll get it. It's all budgeted for. We knew this was coming. Not like the AC when it went out, when we didn't know that was coming. But she wanted my machine to be able to act as her backup if, something ever happens to hers. So she said, I said, I'll be happy with getting an i7 machine. I'll get half the RAM that you're getting because I don't need it. And I'll get a much less capable video card. And she said, no, pay the extra money. So that added about a third to the cost. But I already came into this knowing that I was not going to use that level.
It is going to be the best goddamn typewriter, the most performant typewriter there's ever been. I
look forward to using Dragon Naturally Speaking on it. I stop speaking. It keeps going. The AI inside of this thing will just keep writing my novel for me.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
One of the weird, interesting things that I did not know about is with the new NVIDIA video cards, they have built into the video card a type of noise cancellation that you can go ahead and set it up so the GPU takes all the outside interference out of your microphone before it passes it on to other programs. So that's going to help my Dragon, because my room is not exactly quiet.
No, that will definitely help.
Yeah, so you don't want to know how much that video card cost.
Matt, try and explain to your boss why the only PC you can reasonably buy for AI machine learning samples is basically a gaming rig. I would say you don't need a gaming rig. You need to go and get an NVIDIA NX and you'll be fine and get to it. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
The machine that I picked up is a 12th generation i9 12900K processor. It has 64 gigabytes of RAM. It has a 2 terabyte SSD card plugged into the motherboard, so the fastest kind that it's got there, NVMe type. It's got an NVIDIA RTX 3090 video card, which I assure you, I will never stress in any way, form, or function.
No, you won't.
So all of those things, everything that could be the maximum on that PC, I pretty much clicked the maximum. But that was Donna's doing. I again assure you, it would have cost me. I got a 10% discount because I signed up for Dell's mailing list, so that helped defray some of the costs of this. But it's still if I got the machine that I was looking to get, it would have still been about $3,000 because of the way prices are these days of computers. So it was closer to $5,000 before the drop down to close to $4,000. So there.
I have a Mac Mini 2018, 3.2 gigahertz, 6-core i7, 32 gigs of RAM, and whatever the built-in Intel UHD graphics is. That's what I use. So I have like maybe 1/4, 1/5 of the power that he's got coming. There you go. Yeah, Drew says introducing Dragon James Patterson edition. You speak your outline, and Dragon will write the whole novel for you. Yeah,
I learned something new about Dragon Naturally Speaking that I didn't know. Microsoft bought it last year.
Did they?
They did.
Well, you better find something else because it's going to stop working any fucking day now because all Microsoft does is touch something and it dies.
I suspect they bought it from the reviews I saw because they wanted access to the medical groups that Dragon uses, that they provide services for. But I would not be surprised if Dragon Naturally Speaking, the voice recognition portion of it, doesn't get rolled into Word at some point and other programs. It'll be rolled into the operating system.
Be rolled in the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Which is going to suck mightily for anybody who doesn't use it, but yeah, whatever. As long as it runs iRacing and Beam in G Drive.
Hey, as long as I can play Crazy Taxi, I'll be all right. Supposedly, this video card is capable of doing relatively high-end 4K gaming, which yes. I assure you my monitor is not set up for, and I am not capable of doing. I could be the worst 4K gamer ever. I could stream that on Twitch. Maybe I can make some money.
I told you, fucker. If I get a capable machine, well, now I do have a machine I could do, but it would suck. I could still do it. I may do it anyway. Now that I have fiber, I seriously am considering making a Twitch channel that is just old man yells at games. I mean, seriously, because why not? I love video games. I'm horrible at them, especially this 3D, the FPS stuff. Like I love Rainbow Six Siege, but I'm so terrible. It would be so much fun to have a Twitch channel and have people come in and say, okay, you can come play with us, and just make it just an absolute shit show. It would be.
Yeah.
Great.
Matt is saying this, and I didn't know about this. This is part of the whole voice thing. RTX cards have a really good tool that allows you to blur the backdrops and give you shallow depth of field effects. I forget what it's called that RTX has, that NVIDIA has for it. NVIDIA, I don't remember.
Blah, blah,
but
blah.
It whatever it is, it allows you to manipulate not only your microphone, but your speakers. You can use the noise cancellation effect on people that are coming into you as opposed to your stuff going out. And the guy said that for the noise cancellation part, that if you're typing on a clacky keyboard, you don't even hear it. You're crunching chips, do not hear it. It knows it can wipe all of that away. All of the things that I do to ruin every episode by making loud noises, it's going to cover. But it also has the backdrop stuff to where it can blur the background. It can add green screen effects to the background without you actually having a green screen. It's going to be amazing when it gets here. It'll ship next week. And when I finish this damn novel, so maybe the latter half of this month, I should have it in effect. I've already started copying files to my new 8 terabyte internal SSD that I'm going to be putting into it.
One of the streamers that I watch when the NVIDIA broadcast stuff came out, he unfortunately had a massive water leak in his basement. So he had all these fans and things going around him. You couldn't hear them because he was using broadcast and it was matching it out. And he turned off the filter for 1 second in the stream and you could barely hear him. It was pretty amazing. I was blown away by that.
I did not know that existed until about 3 or 4 days ago.
I've known its existence for like more than 2 years because it's just gotten better from what I understand. I think the audio stuff, I can't remember if the audio stuff came first or if the backdrop stuff came first.
You know, we're going to have the users start sending in backdrops that I can throw in behind me.
Well, I've got a green screen. I've just been too goddamn lazy to put it up there.
Because they'll throw in things that are relatively embarrassing.
Ed Lorne has been doing a stream. I think that I actually put this in the Discord at some point where he was writing a novel and was inviting people to come watch him write the novel. And so he would get done with certain portions of it and he would stop and say exactly what it was he did, why he did it. And then he would kind of move on to the next thing. It was rather interesting to watch him do that. I mean, obviously it was targeted at people who aren't writers or folks who are more beginning writers, but it was pretty ballsy for somebody to go up there and do that and put it live, right? It's not being cut up. It's not being edited. It's just all live. Whatever happens, happens. And it's pretty neat. You have a black cat.
Hey, Dean was saying that anything that you're running 5 generations old, the machine that I am on right now is an i3 41 something. So it's
Mac
like
Mini.
No, this is not a
Mac. Oh,
Mac
you're talking
Mini.
about the PC. That's right.
The PC that I'm on right now, their 12th generation is current tech. 4th generation is what my PC is. So I'm like 8 generations back.
Rick, let me explain something to you. If I got on, let me give you a perfect example. Let's say we got a game like Phasmophobia or Dead by Daylight or something like that. This jump scare heavy, very atmospheric. Now imagine me, Terry, maybe a couple of maybe David Wood, Alan Baxter, and Ed Lorne playing together. None of us knows what the fuck we're doing. We're bumbling around, and all of us are on mic. So all you will hear is Terry bitching about how he doesn't understand the controls, and he's always going to be the first one to die because he doesn't know what he's doing. So he's always going to be screaming, drawing the ghost, and it's going to rip him apart. The rest of us will be laughing, and then we all get hunted down one by one or more than that. There would be there would be setups, there would be pranks, there would be locking people in with the ghost. It would be so much fun. And then the entire time we would just be, back in my day, Space Invaders never had this problem.
Everybody say hello to Mr. Bear.
And yeah, Rick, all screaming like little girls. Exactly. So yeah, it could be fun. People would watch that. Trust me. They absolutely would watch that.
You know, I might be terrible at playing these games, but I don't think that I would be the worst one if we're having a first-person shooter game.
No, you're probably right. Oh, yeah. That's an interesting one. Started a retro gaming stream based around what it was like standing in an arcade talking to people while you played. Yeah, then COVID. Yeah, COVID. Wonderful.
Okay, I'm done with my stuff. Now we can get to what V's idea was. You know, new computer, that's pretty darn important. When you end up all told dropping, gosh, what did I drop on this? It has to be close to $5,500, a little bit more all told.
Per machine?
Yeah. With all the stuff and taxes and everything else included in there. Ouch. This is definitely, I'm glad that it's a business investment.
I haven't spent that kind of money on a machine since ever. Actually, that's not true. My first multimedia creation machine was a Power PC, and I'm pretty sure by the time we got to decking that thing out, it was about $5,500 or $6,000. But that would have been back in 1995 or 6, somewhere back in those days. It was a long fucking time.
When I bought the PC that I'm using now, it was less than $1,000. It was brand new, less than $1,000.
Yeah, but it's also
that would have been my limit if I was, buying for myself. I'd been like, oh, more than $1,000. I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. So yeah, heart failure clicking the button to go ahead and spend that kind of money with buying a Dell. Huh. But if it doesn't last me 20 years, I'll be shocked.
Oh, it's bad news. It's all bad news. So yeah, he's not going to have any means for a machine anytime soon. Just saying that right now. Okay, V's topic was, how do I say no?
Like any of us know the answer to that question. Actually, I've had to start saying no.
No.
It's true. It's true.
No.
I was asked last year, and I had to go ahead and decline being in a couple of anthologies because I don't have time anymore. I just don't have the time. The answer is, you have to have like a little, one of those boxes where it tells you, do I have time to do this? Yes, no. If it says no, then you say no. If it says yes, and then it points to no. No, you really don't have time to do this.
No, you really don't. Do you have more than 2 projects going? Yes. Then you don't. You say no. Depending on when you have to begin that project, if it's an immediate thing, say no. Regardless of what it is, if it's an immediate thing, say no. Say no. Okay. So Paul, it looks like on Amazon UK, at least there's someone trying to sell a first edition of the Black for £29.
There's a lot of people that do that.
There's an American version, or somebody in the US is trying to sell for $97 right now. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I have 2 entire sets of the Sever Press version for sale, but they're not on sale yet. I haven't decided just how obnoxious I'm going to be yet. I haven't decided.
So you should have noticed there when you're about to take all the stuff off, you should have bought a whole bunch of them.
I did.
Oh,
I bought 3 entire sets. That's what, $9. So I've got 3 of them up there on the back, and then I've got a few more sets cobbled together from other things. For some reason, I have a bunch of extra Black Arrivals. I have no idea why. It's like I got those. I don't understand why I have them, but I have a whole bunch of them.
Were some of you may want to look inside them and make sure they're not actually advanced copies that you ordered to preview how it was going to look.
They're not. None of them are proofs. None of them are proofs. I didn't get proofs because those are Sever Press.
Well, that's true. That's true. There's somebody else doing it.
Yep. I never got proofs. I don't know why I ended up with those. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what those end up going for a year from now or a year or 2 from now. We
need to see what we check on eBay and see what the street is going for.
Don't look for the street. Don't do it. If you find it, bad things happen. Very bad things happen. How do you say no to yourself, Terry?
I have to be really picky these days. Once I started doing the Last Hunter series, I had to say, I barely have enough time to keep up with the projected schedule of what they want to do for this. My normal publishing schedule beforehand was 4 or 5 books a year. The publishing schedule that they want to do for this is 6 books a year. So I'm already going faster than what I would normally. So I'm focusing and I'm actually producing more than I was before. But I still have an Empire book that I want to write. I still have the Imperial Marine saga that I want to do. If I want to do any of those, I have to produce even faster. And that means I literally have no time to do other projects. I don't have the time to do the projects that I'm doing if I dick around the way I'm doing it.
Ah, All right, we'll get to that in a second. Is that all you had to say on that subject?
That is.
I think we always have an issue. Well, I always have this issue. I won't put it in anybody else's purview, but I'm sure Terry has this too. We all want the new shiny, right? You're sitting there, you're working on this book, and suddenly you have another idea, and it's like, oh, I want to work on that instead. I've done that many times, sometimes to my detriment, sometimes to my positment, if that makes any sense. If you have deadlines that you've agreed with somebody else, you don't have that kind of flexibility. You have to work on that stuff first. If you promise to book to a publisher, if you promise to book on your schedule, or if you need to get that book out to pay some bills, you don't really have time to fuck around with anything else. Doesn't mean you won't be tempted to. Doesn't mean that sometimes you may just go and fire up the word processor for an hour or two and futz around in a new world, but only after you've gotten your work done. Or maybe you take a day off to work on something else. Maybe you give yourself a little treat for reaching milestones, but you still have to get done what's at hand. Still got to get it done. So when you're on a clock and you have all these projects that are going, you get involved to go do stuff. You have to really look and say, well, when could I start working on it? If I clear, how much of my stuff do I have to clear before I agree to this project? And then, like Terry said, your first inclination needs to be no. Always needs to be no. The part you should always be thinking about are all the reasons to do yes against the answer absolutely not.
Yes must persuade the skeptic inside you.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a really good way of putting it.
You may want to do it, but there has to be a hard-nosed cynic somewhere inside you that says, there's not enough time. That needs to be the default that the inside has for you. There's just not enough time to make everything that you want to do happen. And that is hard to do. For the first 10 years of doing writing, somebody would say, hey, would you like to be in the anthology? Sure, I'd love to be in the anthology. And then I would have to write a 10,000 word short story. I've written 10 anthology stories for the Four Horsemen universe with Chris Kennedy, and I enjoyed writing every one, but that's a novel that I could have written of my own. And considering that short stories take me a little bit longer to write than writing chapters in a novel, probably those cost me roughly 2 novels worth of time. And if you look at the cost benefit analysis, it definitely wasn't worth it as far as making money. It was certainly worth it by finding audience, but you've got to be skeptical. If somebody says, I'd like you to do this, you're like, why should I do it? What is it going to benefit me? And run that cost benefit analysis against that very skeptical, hard-eyed cynic deep inside that you need to have.
And you also need to be very pessimistic. Writing for anthologies is difficult to quantify because you're really never going to make money. Unless it's a really odd deal where you're very, very rich and successful and everybody knows you to begin with. And that's not what they're there for. They're not there to make money. They're to really, in my mind, they're to give lesser well-known authors a chance to rub elbows with the big folks. So you either get an editor who's well-known, or there's going to be, a couple of Terry Mixons or Chris Kennedys in the anthology, and it brings up, everybody else who's involved that may never have been heard of before. Anthologies are awesome for that. They're promotional tools. So if that's going to take away from your bread and butter, it doesn't make any sense because economically you can't justify it. But the other part of that is, remember, PR, right? So maybe it's worth keeping a couple of short stories around every year, or writing a few that may or may not be good for anthologies and kind of setting them aside. And if you get an invitation or one looks cool or whatever, then you have something kind of ready to go for it, maybe, or something that you can massage rather quickly into something that's appropriate for the anthology. That's fantastic. If they're taking away from your novel writing or whatever's making you money, then it's kind of a problem.
Matt says, I remember someone telling me about doing focused sprints of 15 minutes. In IT, you end up focusing for hours on end, then notice that everything's gone dark and you need to go to the toilet badly. And that's true. It is a constant struggle for me to produce what I want. And I've went back to doing 15-minute sprints because I found that I have a limited amount of creative mojo, and I can sprint that distance and get, with Dragon Naturally Speaking, I can get almost 1,500 words in that 15 minutes. But then I have to be thinking, okay, what am I doing next? Where am I going next with this? What am I doing next? What things do I need to do? And I also have to make an editing pass at the end of the day over what I've written. So if I can get 3 this sounds ridiculous. If I can get 3 15-minute sprints in, I can write 4,500 words in a day. By the time I'm done editing it, it'll be somewhere just a little less than 4,000, because it takes out usually about 10%, 10 to 15% of the words that I dictate end up coming out as I rewrite it a little bit when I'm going through it. And that's a day for me. Right now, that is a day for me. All these people say, oh yeah, 10,000 words a day. No, that's not how it works for me. It's a struggle to get. If I tried to do 5,000, I would be putting in more hours than I want to sitting at the computer. And so still, look at this. If I get those 4,000 words written, if I'm writing, say, 110,000 words, that's still just around a month to get that done. 2 editing passes later, another couple of weeks, that's a novel in 6 weeks. That's my ultimate goal, is to hit that 6-week mark, because it'll let me build up a little padding so that I can write an empire book.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
that's ambitious. Finishing a novel that you can hand over to your publisher every 6 weeks is ambitious. It's and insane. If I let something else come in and say, oh, I need to do project X, I really should write some more on that Vela stuff that I was doing. It wasn't making me money, but it was fun. No. Got to have the cynic say no. As much as I would like to write more in it, I can't. The answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. Right now, I really want to be working, or need to be working on, another novel that's unrelated to the Black. I really need to be getting one of those ready. But guess what? I have to finish Oceania, which is at 92,000 words now. I think we're in the final battle. I think
you haven't even gone to the damn island yet. Don't even talk to me.
We're at the island.
I don't believe
you shut your mouth. But
are they feet dry? Are they feet dry? Have they gotten out of the water? No, so they are not to the island yet.
So anyway, I think I'll have it done by the time it's 100K, maybe 110 at the outside. Shut up, Terry. So I have to get that done. I have to get it finished. Well, as soon as it's finished, I have to get started on Extinction. And at that same time, I now have to go back and reread Outbreak and make any fixes on that. And while I'm doing that, I have to go back and fix Evolution before I come back to finish Oceania, before I come back to finish Extinction, because all this shit needs to be done. And the plan is to do one book every quarter, release a book every quarter. Well, the Black just came out literally yesterday. So we have basically 6 months to get Arrival out, if I want to do, every quarter. And I really want to release Arrival on Black Friday in November, which I think is also when I want to launch the Black podcast. But I have to get all that shit done before I get anything else done, because I want to get those put to bed, so that all I am waiting on is artwork from Pond. All I'm waiting on is audio from Fireside. All I'm waiting on is to press fucking publish when it comes time, because I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to fuck around with it. I just want it to be brain dead. Paul's already got the stuff ready to go. Paul just needs to hit go. And then Paul will have time to do things like to write the next book. And probably will go back to do that anyway. So there's still several other things I want to write, but I got to get the Black kind of taken care of first, as much as I can. Friday the 13th, 2023. Sounds like a good day to release
January 13th.
Outbreak. Yeah, January. That sounds like a good day.
The gosh, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
I got sidetracked by Veronica saying that. Now I've forgotten what it was. Oh, don't forget you're going to be missing a week in early November because you're going to be in Vegas.
Right.
So that's going to affect your schedule too. You've got to plan ahead when you're thinking you're cynic inside saying, no, I don't have time to do this, that you're not going to be working every single day for an entire year.
Yeah, there's the other part of that is the, I think you need, it's just like if you're an HR, okay, or project manager, when I was a lead, I always counted on losing at least a month from my team, from each team member a year. You're going to lose a month of productivity. You're going to lose 4 business weeks of productivity. As long as you plan on that, and that includes kind of vacations and paying out the vacation they have, but that also counts for, health issues, taking care of parents or having to do stuff with kids or, whatever the fuck. And I think if you're a self-employed person, you tend to forget that you also need to leave, 4 to 6 weeks for sanity, for illness, for those kinds of things. Because I think if you schedule it otherwise, you're really fooling yourself, especially at our age.
Veronica says November 13th to the 19th. That's Sunday to Saturday. I know that mine is scheduled. I've only got the room for arrive on the 13th, and I'm flying out Friday the 18th.
The 18th, yeah.
Yeah,
20
because the hotel window, the conference window for the rooms didn't extend to Saturday, or I would have stayed.
It'll definitely be a better deal. Anyway, I think that month and a half is extremely important. And if you have a full-time day job, guess what? You have to be more creative. If you have family, you have to be more creative. There's a lot of things you need to, you really need to take into consideration. Are seats still open?
Yes.
Now, the registration
hotel is almost closed. They're at 99% occupancy for the room block. So if it's something that you want to look at it, you probably want to make a decision fairly shortly because the room rate is pretty good for that. I think it's everything included is like $95 plus a little bit per day for the hotel room. And if you're not in the room block, it's going to be a lot more.
Undoubtedly a lot more. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And then, there's stuff I know I'm going to, like concerts. I've got a horror convention to go to in August. Just as I'm not doing anything there besides looking at folks. That's about it. Hopefully I can rub elbows with a couple of people.
It's going to be terrible. I'm not going to get any sleep up there because my wife is not going, and I'm sharing a room with this Paul E. Cooley guy. And he's just going to, God only knows, it's going to be hookers and blow all week.
What makes
you think anyone supposed to get any sleep?
Why in the fuck would I share my hookers and blow with an old fuck like you? Why would I do that? I mean, I'm on a serious budget here. I can't share the hookers and blow, dude. There just won't be enough to go around.
Let's think about how we can have economy hookers.
Hookers?
Let's think about how we can have economy blow. How does this work?
This isn't getting better. Hookers. This is just no.
The price for this is X. I don't have that much. Well, we could only do this. Oh, I don't think I want to know what this is. Yeah, Rick said discount hookers and blow.
Oh,
exactly.
God. Oh, God. So should that be the new Patreon level? DRS anthology.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's exactly what we need.
Nutria Street.
With our age of being sure powder, just...
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, my God. Oh. Yes, family and day job are always going to take priority over the writing if the writing is not the day job. That's always going to happen. It always does. So yeah, you need to schedule that too. It's always a lot more difficult when you're dealing with the publisher because they have their ideas of what deadlines are, and you kind of have to match them regardless. Oh, hell yeah. You could pitch that as an anthology and you'd be inundated. I bet everybody there would write a goddamn story for it.
And Rick, I hate to tell you this because it's, a selling point in going there. They've got a cake vending machine. You can go down and buy a slice of cake out of the vending machine anytime you like.
That in itself is pretty fucked up. That's just wrong. Do they have a hooker vending machine?
Didn't see one, but one never knows. Didn't go to the bar, so maybe that's where that is.
Is weed legal in Nevada?
I don't know. I think it may be. That's it. It's going to be like a Cheech and Chong movie. Paul is going to be like, opens the door to the room, nothing but smoke flying out. Oh my God.
Oh, it's going to be bad. Oh, it's going to be bad. Oh, it is legal. Awesome. So
it's a no smoking room, Paul. You're going to have to go somewhere else to puff
we don't have to smoke it. We can vape it, bro.
Vape it, bro.
Vape it, bro. Get a couple of disposables. Go crazy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Terry's not here, man.
You can't drink, but baby, we got you set up now. You just need some, just need some friends to hang out with, some good 70s music. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, the Credence, man.
This certainly sounds like a, what is that? What is that show where they get the four guys that they
Jackass.
get drunk and they can't remember anything when they wake up? One's got a facial too of Mike Tyson.
What is it called? The Hangover.
The Hangover? Yeah, we don't want to have this hangover trip, us going to Vegas and then having no idea what happened. That's bad. Bad idea.
But think about this for a second. We could record the craziest podcast we've ever done, where both of us are just obliterated on weed and having people just randomly come up and talk shit to us. It would be fucking hilarious.
We'll let you do that. I've got enough health conditions to where I don't need to be doing that, but I will be the straight guy. I assure you, I can play straight to you being totally fucked up just fine.
Oh, we know that, no problem. That's every day because it's just how it works. Anyway, I'm not saying I'll be bouncing around on weed. That would be very unprofessional. I'd only do that in the evenings. Because goddamn it, I'd be on vacation. The point is,
trust me, when you go here, Paul, when you go there, I think their target for this year is 2,500 authors. And I suspect that they're probably going to come pretty close to that by the time it's all said and done. You are not going to be able to stop walking in and talking to people about writing.
Probably not.
This is something that's going to be completely different than anything you've ever done before, because you go to conventions and that's where your tribe is and that's where your friends are. Perfectly cool. This is where the ass ton of writers are.
Oh, I know. And it's going to be very difficult for me not to be a wallflower because I just I have difficulty functioning with people like that. I'm fine once I get introduced to them and things like that, but I find it very difficult just to jump, into something like that. Base that to Craig as a session. Okay,
totally
man.
Wasted on weed.
Yeah. So everybody, we're going to go buy 10 vapes and everybody's going to get one. And then we're going to brainstorm for the next 3 hours while we're totally stoned. And then we're going to come up with an outline.
Yeah. I talked Veronica into going. I was at least part of what talked Veronica into going the other year. And I'm going, oh God, I hope it works out for her. Oh God, I hope it works out for her.
Oh, the other thing is so I still don't understand what Hachette is fucking doing there. Or is it Hachette? It's Ingram. Oh, it's Spark Ingram is going to be there, right?
I know that they get Ingram Spark codes for PODs as part of the 20 Books group on Facebook.
Right, but I was talking about the exhibitors there.
I saw that there were 5 big ones, but I have to admit that I skipped right past them. I know that Amazon is going to be there, but they're not going to tell you anything anyway.
Blackstone.
Hey, wait, you can go have a moment of rage right with Amazon. I can video that shit of you going nuts.
I am not going to yell at a representative of Amazon unless they say something that is so patently ridiculous and false that I will call them on it. Yeah, Podium, Blackstone. There's somebody else is going to be there. I thought was a publisher. Thought was one of the big ones. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, so maybe I'm just crazy. Or maybe it was one of them that has their own self-pub arm. Who the fuck knows? Regardless, it'll be it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, big authors to get your audio rights or possibly reprint. Yes. That's what they will be there for. And by then I should have a really good, or I should have a nice review for my thoughts on Firestone as well.
Veronica says a lot of narrators and narrators representing small presses will be there. I know that Veronica was like the scout for some group of narrators. I wonder if there's going to be like this coven of narrators there. Is that what a group of narrators is called? A coven?
Coven. Oh yeah, she was there for Fireside and Spectrum. Okay, Spectrum Publishing. Right.
I'm not sure she was there for Fireside. I'm not sure who she was there for. A herd. Ha 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 ha.
Huh?
Spelled different than herd. HEARD for a group of narrators.
Herd
That's
of narrators. Awesome. That's bad. Finish setting up a TikTok account. Terry can go live for you and you get banned the record time.
Oh my God. I just had the most awful thought of something to do to you if you get totally wasted, but I can't say anything about it. So I'm not going to. You can ask me later.
I'm not sure I want to know.
Oh, you do want to know, but I don't need to go there.
V, can I sleep on your couch? I'm now afraid to share a room with him. I'll sleep in your tub. It'll be weird, but it might be safer for my health. Because God only knows what he put on my social media, because he's a sick fucker. Oh, cool. I'm glad you can get more people kind of roped into it. This will definitely be the first con I've been to in a very long time where it is more about the creators than it is anybody else. So it'll be the first professional creative con I think I've ever been to, really. Which is kind of scary if you think about it. So yeah, it should be fun. What I want to get hooked up with the assholes who've got the rights to do the Dead Space novels, because I want those fuckers to re-release that shit, and I want to be in that stable. That would be so much fun. Just don't get drunk. Yeah. Yeah. No, just don't let Paul have Jack Daniels and we'll be okay. But not getting drunk would be even better. Your kettle and French press.
Yeah, there's no coffee makers in the room, so this is something you do need to prepare for. You do need to prepare for that.
Fuck.
I may go ahead and, while I'm there, I may buy a cheap Walmart coffee maker to toss in the room. Or I may just throw mine in the thing and take it with me on the plane. Yeah, I can see TSA now. Going somewhere interesting to a coffee maker?
I could see bringing a French press. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not bringing a kettle, though. That's not happening.
While we're there, we'll have to see about doing dinner with V again. It was awesome last year.
I don't know if I want to hang out with V. She's weird.
She's weird, but her husband's great.
I know he's a cool dude. I'd rather hang out with him than her any day of the week.
Wow, that's cold.
Well, you got to pick your favorites. You got to be honest about these things.
Ooh. It's tough getting picked last for the basketball team.
Oh, fuck. He won't be there? Well, I guess it's just going to be you. Shit. Damn it. A drag brunch? Really?
Wow. That would be awesome. I want to see Paul and I want to see me in drag. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
We'll definitely figure out a time to go have a meal with Veronica and hear all the latest going on in the Jaguar household.
Well, my hope is that we'll have more than one meal with her if we're going to be there all week. I mean, come on. It's V. We don't get to see her very often. I've seen her more often than you have, and I haven't seen her in quite a while. Pre-COVID. It's a while ago.
Have to make another trip to Ping Pang Pong.
Huh?
It's the restaurant that V and my family went to when we went and had dinner.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty good.
Okay. Running a PA for a drag queen showcase. Oh God, I bet that was just an experience and a half. Holy shit. Holy shit. I can't even imagine. Ah. So explain this. She spilled wonton soup everywhere last year. Is that how
This
that worked?
may or may not have occurred. It was in Vegas. I can't say.
Oh, I see. So we're going along the idea that
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Unless you're dumb enough to put it on social media. It's a pretty big unless, if you ask me.
Well, we pretty much ran that subject down. I'm not sure if V was actually still plugged in to hear us talking about her question because the numbers of viewers went down, so she may have had to wander off.
Now
She'll have
she's
to
here.
go back and review.
She's here. She's here. Yeah, you British don't have a reputation for tea, and it's not well deserved. Certainly, no, not at all. Not at all. Oh God. The young guy I had as a ready for the night was his first big event. They tore him to shreds. That doesn't surprise me. If you have Shudder, and maybe this is worth you subscribing just for a month free. They have Dragula. Dragula is a horror drag show thing, kind of like RuPaul's Drag Race, only they've got like all this performance horror stuff, and it's pretty insane. A friend of mine took me to their live show when they were here, and that was insane. Absolutely fuck nuts crazy. They have things where they have an elimination round, so if you fall to the bottom, you may have to do things like staple your skin, shit like that. It's pretty insane. It is an experience to say the least, but they have some really neat stuff. It was fun live. It was a lot of fun watching everything. They do a really good job. So anyway, I would say that might be worth your money right there. Also, this month is John Carpenter month on Shudder, so they've got my favorite movies. John Carpenter's movies are all up there on Shudder right now. So if you're not familiar with Shudder, this might be a good month for you to go check them out. We are not sponsored by Shudder. We should be, or at least I should be, but I would go check that out.
And not to spill any beans or not to spill any wonton soup in that. When Veronica gets talking, she gets talking.
Yes, she does. And of course, there's hands. There's a lot of hands involved. So V, here's my question. I've always tried to imagine you narrating at the mic without your hands bashing into the microphone. So do you tie them behind your back? What do you do? I'm gonna get beaten. She's not that bad. We're just talking shit. She's not a New Yorker or an Italian. She doesn't like do this all over the place. The hand talking is a Kentucky thing, dude. I think there are so many different cultures, so to speak, where it gets done. Do punch and roll and retake if I hit the mic. Have you ever hit the mic because you were gesturing?
I'm sure that she has.
Oh, well, okay then. Well, the handcuffs are for special method acting for the pseudonym. Thank you very much. So, we have Discord. You're on there. Perhaps a private message is involved here. I need to know this pseudonym now, or a link. That'd be good too.
I had heard the pseudonym, but I don't remember it anymore. So, yeah.
Wait a minute. What is this y'all went there bullshit? I did not go there. I said nothing about handcuffs. I said nothing about handcuffs. Good God.
Do you guys have any more questions for us that may actually be writing related? or even just generally creative related. We're here for you.
Yeah, we do. Oh, she's pointing at chat. Okay. Yeah. All right, V. I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, video conferencing is not really a problem when I thanks for pointing that out, Sue. If I'm just like on a Zoom call, I'm usually using this mic. If I wasn't using this mic, I wouldn't be worried about gesturing, but I can only gesture right here through the mic, but at least I have space, right? So I can kind of go crazy without worrying about too much. And I can still do this, which is very important because when you're on a show with Terry, you want to do this a lot.
I can't disagree. Veronica's the thing, the pumping fist. I can't remember where I saw it from, what movie it came from, but is one of some guy going, giving the double fist pump. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I knew where that came from because I would totally use that GIF in something.
There's one with a toddler doing that, I think.
It's a single one there. Maybe it's a toddler, but it was a double fist pump.
It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. You made me laugh. I've laughed harder today than I have in at least like 2 weeks. So thank you. I needed this. What else is going to babble about? I was going to say something, and now you've totally blown it out of my head. I don't know anymore. Terry, why don't you have a store?
Why don't I sell something in a store?
Yeah.
What would I sell?
I don't know. Autographed books?
Because when I intend to do that, and I do intend to do that, I've heard that using Etsy is a better place to sell and get your books shipped if you're selling books like that. It's a better platform for dealing with that, and you can direct folks to that. You don't have to maintain the overhead for doing it.
That would be why I'm using PayHip. So I have PayHip store for everything, but if I got signed paperbacks, I got to get them signed, right? So I have to order the books here. I got to sign the shit. I got to send it out. But with PayHip, I'm able to do some other stuff like audiobooks and whatnot. So that's what I'm doing right now. We'll let you know how. So far, it's been awesome. We'll see how the physical products go.
I think I need to make my own calendar. Drew says that I could sell autographed pictures of the cats.
You have enough cats to do that. There is no question. I probably have enough action shots of Shadow that I could do something very much like that too. Oh boy. If you had to choose, which of your works would you want adapted into a movie? Follow-up question, would you rather have your work adapted by the Game of Thrones writers or the sequel trilogy writers? All right, we'll struggle with the first question, and then we get to the next one. Terry, which one of your books?
Empire of Bones, I think, would be a good one to adapt into a movie. It would make for a nice long series, but The Last Hunter would also be a good movie. Maybe a better movie than the first Empire of Bones book. I'm not sure.
Now,
if V's husband was talking, it might be the Humanity Unlimited's first book.
Oh, really?
He favors that series.
Interesting.
I like it too. I wish I had more time to write.
I would go with The Black or Garrett's Inferno. I think Garrett's Inferno actually would make the easiest movie to actually produce out of all my work. Maybe that one and Closet Treats, I think, are the easiest to produce, but I think Garrett's Inferno is a good polarizing story where you could grab people who are just used to mystery thrillers and throw them in with some of the horror and they'd be okay with it. The Black, obvious. Just so incredibly obvious. Plus, I need a fucking movie deal. All right, so would you rather have it adapted by the Game of Thrones writers or the sequel? When you say sequel, what do you mean, Drew?
He's talking Star Wars. Star Wars sequel movies.
Oh.
7, 8, and 9.
Oh. Do I get neither?
Maybe. Personally, if I had to go that way, I'd have the Game of Thrones writers do it until the last 2 or 3 books and then fire them before they had a chance to fuck up the final season. And then I could bring in the sequel trilogy writers to go ahead and just muddle through to the end, because they would be better than the Game of Thrones writers did at the end.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so bad. So bad. So incredibly bad. I'm not going to disagree. I would much rather have the writers that did Rome or The Expanse. I would much rather have those folks.
I tried to talk Paul to go see the Happy Time Murders with me in the theater, and I've seen it. He has not seen it that I'm aware of.
Nope.
You totally need to watch the Happy Time Murders because they were amazing. It was an amazing movie.
I'm pretty sure it's still up there somewhere on streaming. I just have so much other garbage I need to write. Rick, you are the only person I've ever heard of that it said that you had no problem with how Game of Thrones wrapped up.
The last season was garbage.
I never saw the last 3 seasons, so I don't have an opinion.
They set it up to be fantastic. Then they rushed the ending because the producers wanted to go do something else. And you may be one that had no problem with it, but 90% of the people that were watching it did, sadly.
I got no dog in this hunt, so it don't matter to me none. I still ain't watched the rest of The Expanse, so what the fuck do I know? Yeah, I'm interested in what they would do with that too. Of course, I would rewrite the first book. If I were them, I'd almost throw away the first book and start over. But for movie anyway.
When you're having somebody do one of your books as a movie, basically it's fan fiction. It's fan fiction of your work, because they're going to take the bones of it and the ideas that they like that'll work for their medium, and they're going to create a product that may be radically different than what you have. And you've got to look at it that way. You can't go there and go, oh, the things they've changed. I remember James Patterson, I think it was James Patterson, went to the first Alex Cross movie and watched it with...
was horrified.
Well, no, he wasn't horrified. He's just like watching the first scene going, who's Alex talking to? Who is that woman? And the actor that played Alex Cross is going, that's his sister. He's like, oh, okay. Alex Cross doesn't have a sister. The writers added that in for this. And he's like, I had no idea who that was.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff like that. But I think also there is I think there's a style of fiction writing that is more easily transferred to film and TV. I think there are certain styles that are very easily handed over in that way, and it's easier for people to do and make it much more like the book. If you write in those kind of thriller chapters, if you don't have a lot of the other amorphous stuff going on, if you've got good characters and you put those kinds of things in, some of that stuff's going to change, but a lot of the major beats will stay the same. Sometimes characters will remain intact. Yeah, I think it just depends on what you're writing and how transferable it is to screenplay. And of course, since neither of us, the two of us anywhere, professional screenplay writers, really can't give an opinion on that. Although I still want to write a goddamn screenplay. I just don't know which one I'm going to write for it. Rick says when Clive Cussler asked the writers directors of the adaptation of his Raise the Titanic why they didn't follow the book, the response was there was a book.
There would be a question mark at the end of that.
Oh,
there was a book.
There was a book. Oh man. Yeah, listening to the Expanse versus watching the series are derivatives of the characters. Yes.
Now, my wife has listened to the books for The Witcher, and I've seen, and she's seen as well, the Witcher on television. I wonder how much difference there was between the Witcher books and the Witcher TV series.
Oh yeah, well then go ask how much of a difference there is between the Witcher books, the Witcher graphic novels, the Witcher show, and then the Witcher video games.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's like, that's just, oh my fucking God. It's like
everything.
Marvel.
It's all derivatives of what you're doing, and you just can't get hung up if they don't follow your plot. If they don't use your characters, if they don't do whatever, once you sign the thing and get your check, your work is done.
Yeah, pretty much. My hope is that if I were going to do something like The Black or Derelict, that I would at least be, summarily involved or, occasionally asked questions. I would like to be an advisor on the show, but I certainly am not going to hold anything against them for changing shit because they supposedly know what they're doing versus I don't.
That's a great question, Matt. Which Witcher came first? Was it the games?
I
have no idea.
I don't know.
Was the Witcher game based on a book? Was the book a spin-off of the game? I have no idea.
There are more games other than the one that was relatively recently released. So I don't know how far back they go. Did the check cash? Yeah, good luck with that. As long as the check cashed.
Veronica believes there were short stories that came before the game.
I have no idea. It's one of those IPs that kind of like completely escaped my notice until the video game came out, and then everybody was going bonkers about that. I had no concept of what that was before that.
Having never played the game, watching the TV series, I cannot envision, if they had to try to pick somebody else to do the acting, Cavill did such an amazing job as the character. I'm not sure that I could accept somebody else trying to play Geralt of Rivia.
Well, there is a question to be asked there. That was on your mic, not mine.
Yes, she's down here talking to me. She wants me to take her and put her downstairs.
Imagine that.
This is Misty, and she wants to go downstairs now.
She's got many things to say, most of which are inappropriate for the show. I think if you go and you look at, if you know a book and they made a movie of it, go look at the differences and try and figure out why they did what they did. Especially if you don't like the differences. Try and figure out why they did what they did. Be an interesting thought experiment for you. You might actually see why they did what they did. Or why they shouldn't have. Original Witcher short story was first published in Polish in 1990. Polish? Really? Holy crap. I had no idea it was Polish. Unless the magazine is called Polish. Somehow I doubt that.
This is not going to be a shock to anybody. There's an emergency that I need to go ahead and call a hold to this here.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The vet just called and said that someone just jumped a 3-month-old kitten at the vet door in a bucket. And they close in half an hour. So guess who's getting another kitten? Well, in for a penny, in for a pound, right?
Go do your thing. I'll sign off the show. Go do your thing.
Love you guys.
Have fun. You leaving the podcast would be a good thing. There we go. All right. So we have lost Terry for the rest of the remainder of the show. Do y'all have anything you want me to talk about before we go? Oh, most differences revolve around condensing a 500-page book to a 2-hour movie. Yes. Yes, that is actually a big deal. For series, though, I think that's where things get more interesting. Look at what they drop from each of the characters or the plot, what they do, why they thin it down the way they do. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Go try and follow the logic in doing what they're doing. And keep in mind, they're usually trying to allure to a larger audience than just people who are fans of the book. I did not know the author was Polish of that. I had no idea. Holy cow. I haven't watched The Hobbit. I haven't seen any of the Hobbit movies. Lord of the Rings, I saw. I don't regret seeing it, but I'll never watch it again. But yeah, there are certain things they left out because they would have made a lot more sense that way. What the hell? I thought you were gone.
One of the vet techs went ahead and took it.
Oh.
So crisis averted without my intervention.
So here I am trying to sign out, and here you are. You come back here and screw me over by making me sit here for another 20 minutes. What an asshole.
I would have adopted it. I mean, what's 5 versus 4? But I'm happy that one of the vet
What's
techs
4 versus 2? What's 20 versus 4?
When you're a cat daddy, you got to do what you got to do. But I have to say that while I would do it, I'm kind of happy that I don't have to juggle multiple different aged cats at the same time. Oh. It's already difficult enough with 3 different sets of ages.
Yeah, no shit. Really? We were just talking about what to remove from things when you adapt them and what to keep.
Oh, gosh. Have you ever adapted anything?
No.
I would have no idea what to keep.
I know what I would remove and what I would add from certain characters to Derelict if we were going to adapt it for a TV series. I know a lot of the things I would include, and there were other things I would make happen because there are some characters now that are barely fleshed out. They would need a lot more work, which is fine, which is perfect. I wouldn't mind doing that. And if, as a screenwriter, I wouldn't mind that either, because it means you got carte blanche over this character to add all these other pieces that are missing from them so they can be a more fully fledged character for the series. I know what I would do. I know what I would do in the Black as well. I know these things, but I have never adapted anything. I would love to have spent some time writing a screenplay. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Things left out and created stuff out of thin air. Well, I can tell you what the creative stuff out of thin air is. It's we needed a scene here that didn't exist. So therefore we need to do this because the director really wanted to have this scene in there, or they needed that scene for product placement. Therefore they kind of had to put it out there. That's how it works. Yeah. Slacker. Veronica says fantasy fiction formula. There's a book I read about writing that said you should add tertiary arcs to the story in a way that you can remove them from an editor or adaptation if needed. Yes, I agree with that completely. But I would say you need tertiary arcs in your writing anyway, because if you're writing something that's a little bit more complex or long, you're probably going to need some of those tertiary plot points just to keep the swampy middle from going completely swampy.
You've got to have enough mixture of threads going on in a story that you can bring most of them together at the end and have others that go from novel to novel.
Right. So there are some things there that I think that's a good idea to be learned, period. I think the more you reach and the more comfortable you get with writing the longer stories or the more complex tales, the more you figure these things out. Because if you're interested in who those characters are, you're going to want to give them things to do to get them more screen time. That's why sometimes minor characters jump forward, as the minor character is so much more interesting than the major characters you've already introduced. Oh. Learn about screenwriting, listen to Script Notes podcast with John August and Craig Mazin. Okay. Thanks for the tip, Rick. I haven't heard of that one. Not familiar with that one at all. And for TV, listen to the Writer's Panel with Ben Acker. Yeah, Matt, strange how that works. You give you include the features, and then if they want them, they have to pay for them. I like that. I like that a lot. It makes a lot of sense. Good God, Rick, you have a lot of ideas here. Children of Tendu. I've never heard of that one either. Holy shit. Terry, we're slackers. We don't spend all this time listening to this stuff.
It's because I'm not a scriptwriter. Hell, there's a lot of writing podcasts that I don't have time to listen to.
Yeah, ours being one of them.
We do a podcast?
I don't think Terry's ever actually heard an episode of DRS. I'm not sure he's ever actually heard an episode of DRS.
No, there's no telling what Paul actually puts in them. He could go ahead and just take everything we do now, throw it out, and have a completely different show with someone else. So he's just putting out whatever. I would never know. You know, that may be an improvement.
I will have to take certain things under consideration, and that might be one of them. I may have to look at this as a real possibility here. I may have to really, take that in. Okay, this is a man who's bored. I had an hour's commute each way for 10 plus years. That's how I found you guys. Yes, but you don't have that anymore, so why are you still here?
Glutton for punishment.
That's something like that. Oh man, it's so hopeless. So what else do we know? Do we know anything?
I think we've ran out of things we know. I'm pretty sure that we know nothing anymore.
I mean, I had my awesome rant, which apparently wasn't a rant. It was more informative than anything else.
Ooh, this is great. This is great right here. Tell me, Paul, do you go ahead and replace me with a different face, using some kind of weird facial recognition type overlay? You just make me look like somebody else. That would be awesome.
No, what I did was I went and found a great picture, medical grade picture of a sphincter. And I've just got that on the screen and it just pulses every time you talk. I figured it was the most accurate representation.
Can't argue with that. And here we have the perineum of podcasting.
We're more like the taint of podcasting. Oh yeah, that needs to be our phrase. That needs to be our phrase. We're more like the taint of writing podcasts. What the hell does that even mean? It sounds as bad as it is. Oh my god. Yep, there's a new tagline. Told you. Oh, I'm gonna put that in our PR materials. Not that we have any. Oh my god, that's too fucking funny. Oh, that's awesome. I like it. I've been listening to a podcast called Distractable, which is 3 YouTubers who have quote unquote made it, and they're pretty funny guys. They really are. They're 3 musketeers. They've been through all sorts of stuff together, and they're just fucking hilarious. So what they do is every week they have a contest where one of them hosts and has a topic, and the other 2 are vying for points, and whoever wins the most points gets to host the next episode. So they talk about anything, but they have one that was I haven't finished listening to it yet, but it's about the funniest joke in the world. And they had they went and found these AI programs for actually generating the jokes, and holy fucking shit. I recommend that episode because it is unbelievably funny. It is excellent. Writing Excuses self-publishing show? Never heard of the self-publishing show.
That's what their subtitle is. At least I think it is.
And Writing Excuses, and then there's the self-publishing show. 2 different things. 2 different things.
Ah, okay.
I don't know what the self-publishing show is. I've never heard of that one either.
It sounds vaguely familiar. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know. I don't have time to listen to it.
Rick, what are you trying to say here?
I wish I had time to learn to listen to do publishing because, God, I wish I knew how to do it.
Rick, what the fuck? 2 legit podcasts, and then there's you 2. What the hell does that even mean? What are you trying to say exactly, sir?
Are you having trouble parsing that?
Let
me spell it out.
I feel as though our reputation and our skills have been impugned.
Well, don't you actually have to have a reputation for something like that?
Oh, no, we have a reputation. Our reputation is impunity. So the fact that we exist is a slight to the universe. I'm okay with that. I get that. But, the fact that we're not a serious podcast, what the fuck?
I think we're about as far away from a serious podcast as you can get.
I don't know. Occasionally we have good information, like how much of a pain in the ass Amazon is. And yes, we have the best cats ever. God damn it. That needs to be our tagline. That needs to be our selling point for this YouTube channel. Best cats ever. Best writing podcast with cats.
When I send out my newsletter, it's whatever I'm doing and cats.
This does not surprise me one bit. Oh, God, I have to send out my newsletter. Oh.
Mine goes out next Tuesday, so I've got to start putting it together, too.
Well, I was supposed to have it ready to go so that when the black actually got published, I could send it out and say, hey, it's available. But then there's other shit.
Glad you were right on top of that.
And then there's 50,000 people who want signed trade paperbacks, but I still have yet to work out exactly the British shipping things. So I haven't put it on sale yet, but then I have to make a massive bulk order because all these people want signed trade paperbacks. And holy God. Shit. You know exactly what you're going to get. Yes, you do.
V does indeed have a newsletter. You should be signed up for it like I am.
I get it and then I throw it away. Just like I do with Terry's newsletters.
You are so rude.
Of course I am. I'm me, goddammit. All right. Do you have any other questions before we move on, before we get out of here, before we let Paul go rest his voice? It's actually doing pretty well today. This is probably the most I've talked in a week and a half. Really. It's been that bad. Me, my Mo. Hey, Mo. Dead air.
You're waiting for something?
Dead air. I'm waiting for somebody to say something.
They're 5 seconds delayed from us, so
I know
it doesn't happen immediately.
I asked this stuff more than 5 seconds ago. They're just not.
So, for a host on a podcast, you are so demanding.
I'm tired. I'm very tired. I did not sound this good yesterday. They told me that they shot me up with steroids and I'm on another spray, and they told me I would feel better pretty fast. But I sound better, but trust me, my throat is aching right now. Not hurting, but it is aching. That's one of the reasons I have to swallow a lot. But yeah, I sound 1,000 times better than I did earlier this week. Trust me. I sounded real bad. Wife kept going, "Are you alive?" Yeah, I have some more corpse coffee.
So if you're dead and you're drinking corpse coffee, what does that really mean?
I don't know exactly. Questions we shall have to ask the Dave. Perhaps he shall have some kind of idea about this.
And we also need to get together for lunch at some point.
Yeah, we need to do that. This week was a fucking disaster.
That's fine. This has been a really
your week was fucked anyway. So probably best we didn't try and get together. This week.
I am so focused on this book. I wouldn't mind putting off the get together until the last half of July if your coffee supply will hold up.
Oh yeah, we're fine. We're good.
Okay, then let's do that. I want to get this damn book done. Every day that I take to,
I want you to get this book done.
If I take a day to go do lunch, that's a day that I am not going to get shit done.
I need to got to get Oceania finished next week. Period. End of story. I got to get it done. I might actually be able to start recording again next week. We'll see how I feel Monday. It's probably going to be slow going though. But I still got to get that done for the patrons. But I need to get this thing done so I can move on. Move the fuck on. Soylent Black. I don't think you want to drink the black. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Really don't think that's a good idea at all. I could be wrong. Oh, my voice is perfect for death metal? Yeah, if only I could scream. Rick, we were trying to be done with recording, and then Terry came back, and then we started talking because that's how this works. Terry comes back, and words start dropping out. That's why he's a host. I
haven't said shit. This is all you, man.
Oh man, yeah, whatever. Well, because you're not actually adding anything to conversation. You haven't been doing shit today.
Yeah. Have you paid any attention? What do I do as a co-host? I sit here and play off of you all the time. That's what we do.
That means I always have to be the guy who's on. And I'm not very on today. So you're not really helping out the show here. You're just watching me struggle and drown. That's just not cool. Not cool.
But it's entertaining.
Oh, yeah, for you it is. Oh, I record my work for the patrons. It's not as professional sounding. I cut a few more corners than I can if for the podcast or whatever, but I record. I'm still recording the serial for the patrons, and that's probably not going to stop. It just means I may have to not record as often. We'll see how things go, and depending on how this steroid stuff that got me on, this is a short-term fix. The long-term fix may involve voice therapy and a few other things to try and figure out the timbers where I can speak and how to project my voice without doing damage, and better able to do that. So I imagine that will be the discussion I have with the ENT in a month or two once I get out of crisis. So I don't know what's going to happen. We all knew this was going to be a year of change. I knew I was having problems recording Station 3 with my voice crackling, and some days it just wouldn't work. That's why I planned on doing this in the first place. It's just I now have the medical reason why it's getting so hard to do it. So there you go. So I'll keep doing that as long as I can. Once I can't, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, right now, Patreon, my patrons, that's a significant portion of my income as a content creator, my Patreon. And there's this one. So my voice makes me quite a bit of money. I don't know what happens if I stop doing serials. I don't know how many of my patrons will just go away. That's a real concern. It's a real concern. So, yeah, there are some pluses here. I think it'll be fine. Everything's changed. Everything's changed. I'm just glad it's not throat cancer. That's what I had. That's what I was worried about until I saw the EET, is that I had throat cancer. So knowing I don't have that is a huge relief, to say the least. All right, I'm getting yelled at, so that we should get the fuck off the air and shut up. So if you have a comment about this show, this episode, whatever, you can send an email to show@deadrobotsociety.com. You can tweet me at Paul_E_Cooley. You can find me at Mastodon at Paul E. Cooley at mastodon.social. You can find us on Facebook at the Listeners of the Dead Robot Society Facebook group, where Terry wrangles all the madness. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/DRS podcast. And it's where you can see all the crazy, including 2 goddamn many cats. We have to thank our wonderful host, Podhoster, who makes all 14 bazillion episodes of the Dead Robot Society available for your ear holes. And if you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to live shows like this one and mostly unexpurgated videos or episodes and other madness. And at the $10 level, you get your name read, which will require Paul to look up the Patreon patrons who give $10. So Paul will do that now, while Terry makes excuses or threatens or makes fun of him, because we all know.
And as Paul would be, remiss to not say, I have no idea what he would be remiss in saying.
You're just not very fast on your feet today. I may need to get
No, I was going to jump into the coffee, and I said, no, I really can't do that while he's still doing the names.
And our $10 patrons are Tony L. Joy, Andrew Smallwood, Veronica Jake Air, Rick Shaw, Lisa Slack, and Isabel Cushy. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible. And before we sign off, we do have to indeed handle Corpse Coffee. Terry, take it away.
You knew that was coming, right?
I hoped not, but I was prepared. I was completely fucking prepared for you to pull that shit. Fucking asshole.
I don't know your spiel. You've the only one that's been doing that pitch, so I don't know it.
The DRS hosts who obviously don't have enough in their life are obviously either too caffeinated to the point where they can't function anymore, which I think is their usual state, or haven't had enough caffeine and therefore need to go make more. Hush V, that was a bad pun. We have to thank our wonderful caffeine sponsor, Corpse Coffee, who makes their coffee available to us.
That looks like my coffee.
That looks like your coffee. I've got your coffee. You've got mine. What do you want? You want
we're gonna have a hostage exchange soon.
It misses you, Terry. It wants you so bad. So go to visit corpsecoffee.com. Check out their wonderful selection of coffees, their boutique teas, and their strange and weird webcomic. And tell them DRS sent you. Go to visit corpsecoffee.com and get the dead in your cup. There. I did my spiel. See, Terry, how hard is it? How difficult is it for you to follow that? We've been doing it for how long?
You give that some kind of special life that I could not give it justice. It just couldn't happen.
Oh my God. All right. With that, we're going to get out of here and let y'all get back to it. For our American brethren, happy 4th. For everybody else, have a fantastic weekend. And thank you so much for joining us and supporting us. And we will talk again soon.
Bye-bye.